Now I just have to stop myself from घूमोफाइंग इतना. प्रोफेसर गोपीचंद नारंग साहब की एक किताब है, फैज़ अहमद फैज़, द थॉट स्ट्रक्चर, एवोल्यूशनरी लव एंड एस्थेटिक सेंसिबिलिटी. मैंने बहुत बहुत टाइम से ये चीज़ करने की सोच रखी थी, but yes, here we are now. This has been translated from Urdu by Surinder Deol, and it's in English. So let's do this then. Time is the final arbiter of poetry's importance and its greatness. Both Mir and Ghalib complained about the lack of appreciation of their work by the people of their age, but with time, the mark of their greatness became clear. In this sense, time is not an abstraction. On the contrary, it is a determinant of the likes and dislikes of people with literary and artistic finesse about the poetic tradition in any culture. Many a time it is through them that the process of aesthetic appreciation and value judgment about the quality of art, literature, and poetry continues. From this point of view, Faiz is a poet of great merit and influence who is most talked about in the latter half of the 20th century. There were other poets, but no one received as much popularity and accolade as Faiz. But fame is not the only measure of poetic greatness. The joy of poetry is derived from many intangibles, but the poet's creative and distinctive golden touch plays an important role as well. Faiz did not get to the top in a day. He struggled too before he earned the admiration of others. He started with Naqsh Faryadi, but it was with the second half of this collection and the subsequent poetry collections, namely Daste Sabah and Zindan Nama, that he gained the extraordinary stature of being a poet with unique attributes. The reason for this success was neither biographical nor historical. If we look at the critical literary assessments of those early years, Faiz was ranked 12th or 15th. But then we come to the day when Faiz's metaphorical structure and stylistic ambiguity, coupled with a sweet sounding poetic voice like that of Bulbul and Rose, vanquished all opposition. The views of critics lost their vigor and Faiz's importance gained by the day. Faiz was accepted as a distinctive, dominant voice of his age. Let us look at three of his couplets from a famous ghazal. अब वो ही हरफ जुनून सबकी ज़बां ठहरी है, जो भी चल निकली है वो बात कहाँ ठहरी है. Euphoria is now the medium of discourse on everyone's lips all over. What has gained momentum cannot be stopped. The second one is दस्ते सयाद भी आजिज है, कफ ए गुलछिन भी, बू ए गुल ठहरी ना बुलबुल की ज़बां ठहरी है. That hands of the hunter and the flower picker have been jammed. There is nothing now to stop the fragrance of flowers or the nightingale's song. Then the third one, हमने जो तर्ज फुगा की है कफस में इजाद, फैज गुलशन में वो ही तर्ज बयां ठहरी है. That the style of expressing the suffering I had invented in the prison is now the way of chosen communication in the whole garden. The creative path zigzags, and it is filled with the unknowns. In the same way, literary criticism takes time to unwind poetic curls and riddles. The creativity that is exclusive to a poet takes time to strike roots in its durability. The great verse now opens new pathways for its assessment. A great poet is either a representative of an established tradition or he is the fountainhead of a major departure. More often, he comes across as a rebel who breaks idols that his contemporaries hold dear. He finds new ways of expression. He invents new poetic grammar. In this manner, the poet is either ahead of his time or he becomes the representative voice of tragic events pain and suffering, or people's aspirations of the period in which he lives. Very often he is the voice of his time. What was Fez's miracle? When we look at his work in the proper context, we face several questions. Was he a revolutionary poet? Probably yes and no. Was he ahead of his time? The answer to this is also not an unqualified affirmation. The progressive movement was already underway. Josh Malehabadi's thundering voice was already ahead of everybody else. Even Faiz has admitted that it was Dr. Rashid Jahan who put him on his path. As far as classical diction is concerned, Faiz's diction is a metaphorical extension of Ghalib and Iqbal. Linguistically, Faiz uses the poetic language that was part of classical Urdu and Persian poetry, or it was that part which was already in use by most of the contemporary progressive poets. But Faiz excels through the lyrical mellowness of his metaphorical voice. Charming demeanor, restrained emotional connection, compassionate expression, and the brilliance of his words that appeal most to the reader's heart. It is something that none of his contemporaries could claim. Now, what was the secret behind all this? There are themes like anti imperialism, anti capitalism, the suffering of masses, protest against all forms of social injustice and oppression, world peace, and aspirations for a better social order, which is not any poet's monopoly. These are universal, socialist, and nationalist themes. And as a matter of fact, they are common denominators found in nationalist and freedom movements everywhere. Even in Urdu, these themes are found in all progressive poets. Faiz's view of life and his thought is in sync with other progressive poets. He is no different. But he is absolutely no different. But then, where do we find his individuality and uniqueness? If we cannot separate him from others by thoughts and themes, then how could he achieve a distinctive place for himself? There is one possible answer. Intellectual or ideological similarity is not the thing as the voice of love, and creative or aesthetic similarity. These can be different, though in poetry they are a single construct. A poet's thought structure is not just an abstraction. It comes into being through his creative expression. Every great poet molds his thoughts in a peculiar vessel that is uniquely his own. Even if the poet does not invent a new language, he can delve deep in the tradition and thus create his unique metaphorical and lyrical distinctiveness. The other aspect of this puzzle is that distinctiveness cannot exist without discrete thought and meaning because the style is not merely a fixed formula. As there is no signifier without a signified, those people who think otherwise have a very restrictive understanding of the mystery that creative style or structure of poetry really entails. Stylistic qualities demonstrate qualities of thought and reflection. They are not two separate things. If if poetic expressions are different, then thought structure could also be different from others. It is true that Faiz has not added any new word to Urdu vocabulary, but it is also true that he has invented new metaphorical modes of expression. Thousands of new word combinations, similes, and phrases that have become idioms of their kind with innovative socialist meanings. It is like creating new constructs which are different from the usage common through several centuries. This poetic thought structure is uniquely Faiz's own and is the basis of his individuality and greatness as a poet. Faiz has taken full advantage of what was heart pulling in the classic tradition, but with the use of his metaphoric, creative ability and magical touch. He never stops from inventing new, contemporary meanings. This creative magic touch is something worth noticing. Literary criticism that is largely focused on big themes, given agenda, topics, and points of view ignores the mystery of creative ability, fresh thinking, and magical expression. And and it can never unfold the secrets of Fairz's delightful glowing mellow verse. His poem Mulakat from his collection Zindanama is a case in point. ये रात जो दर्द का शजर है, जो मुझसे तुझसे अजीम तर है, अजीम तर है कि इसकी शाखों में लाख मशाल बकाफ सितारों के कारवां घिर के खो गए हैं। हजार मेहताब इसके साए में अपना सब नूर रो गए हैं। ये रात उस दर्द का शजर है जो मुझसे तुझसे अजीम तर है। The night is a tree of suffering, which is greater than you and me. Greater because in its branches, caravans of millions of torch carrying stars have lost their path. Hundreds of moons under its shadows have lost their splendor. This night is a tree of suffering which is greater than you and me. This poem is based on, as it is clear, on the images of night and morning. Night, pain, sorrow, oppression, injustice, these are all metaphors. Morning's twilight sky is a sign of happy tidings. This linkage of light and darkness and its social significance is nothing unusual. This is found in poems all over the world. From the thought perspective, it is not extraordinary. We do recognize that in the context of a prison cell, this is an exceptional poem. It is a blend of compassion and commitment, although the symbols on which the poem is based are not highly inventive. It is a blend of compassion and commitment. Although the symbols on which the poem is based are not highly inventive, it contains inventiveness in the manner of its touching lyrical expressions and the thought pattern. Here, creativity and its interpretation are beautifully blended. The poet calls the night Dard ka Shajar, or the tree of suffering and agony, which is higher than you and me. It is greater because within its branches, millions of caravans of flaming stars have come and lost themselves. Thousands of moons have lost their shine under this tree. Raat, Dard, or Shajar are not new words, but the night which is Dard ka Shajar. Caravans of stars and moons losing their light are turned into powerful, unique metaphors, and they strengthen the pain of the night of human suffering. To say that the pain is more significant than you and me is not a personal statement. It unfolds the pain and suffering of the whole of mankind. Now, in the second part of the poem, Faiz gives it a distinctive lyrical twist. मगर इसी रात के शजर से ये चंद लम्हों के जर्द पत्ते गिरे हैं और तेरे गेसुओं में उलझ के गुलनार हो गए हैं। इसी की शबनम से खामोशी के ये चंद कतरे तेरे जबीं पर बरस के हीरे पिरो गए हैं। बहुत स्याह है ये रात, लेकिन इसी स्याही में रुनुमा है वो नहरे खून जो मेरी सदा है। इसी के साए में नूर गर है वो मौजज़र जो तेरी नजर है। To call moments that, but from this night's tree, few yellow leaves have fallen. And once they got entangled in your tresses, they have become pomegranate flowers. As its dewdrops of tranquility rained on your forehead, they have become threaded diamonds and jewels. This is a dark night, but from this darkness emerges the river of blood, which is my clarion call. In its shadow there is a light, which is a wave of substance, resembling your alluring eyes. To call moments fall-colored yellow leaves is the Western influence which is seen several places in Faiz's imagery. Other words like Gesu, Gulnar, Shabnam, Katre, Jabeen, etc. are all associated with classic Urdu poetry. Now, if we juxtapose the graphic imagery of the first part of the poem With the second part, our effort will lead to a question which will not be delighted by the highly sensuous aesthetic feeling that Faiz has generated by his creation of a new climate of meaning. One crucial skill that Faiz uses is that he lyrically transforms his revolutionary thinking into his aesthetic sensibility, and the two are never separated. He uses his creative touch to merge the two to create pure, poetic enjoyment. It is something unique to Faiz in Urdu poetry. This distinctive, imagist, metaphorical, and aesthetic touch continues in the second part of the poem. The night of suffering is black, but the eyes of the beloved are a wave of precious gold. And as such, they are filled with glow and illumination that is the quintessence of inspiration and reassurance. Any other poet would have used the image of dawn after a night at a surface level. But this is where Faiz parts company with other poets. Towards the end, the poet even rejects the romantic vision of the morning, saying that those who are hurting, those who are in pain, their morning is not in the sky, but where we stand. A reference to the thought that one cannot stay away from one's love. Dawn's bright sky lies with the one whom you love. वो लिखते हैं कि जहां पे हम तुम खड़े हैं दोनों, शहर का रोशन उफुक यहीं है। यहीं पे गम के शरार खिलकर शफक का गुलजार बन गए हैं. The place where both of us are standing is actually dawn's bright horizon. Here, the sparks of sorrow when they blossom become pomegranate flowers of morning's twilight. Let's take a look at a ghazal-like poem, Tawk o Dar ka Mausam, or the season of shackle and the hanging post. रविश रविश है वो ही इंतजार का मौसम, नहीं है कोई भी मौसम बहार का मौसम. ये दिल के दाग तो दुखते थे यूं फिर भी कम कम, कुछ अब के और है हिजरां ए यार के मौसम. यही जुनून का, यही तौक ओ दार का मौसम, यही है जब्र, यही इख्तियार का मौसम. कफस है बस में तुम्हारे, तुम्हारे बस में नहीं, चमन में आतिशे गुल के निखार का मौसम. सबा की मस्त खिरामी ताह ए कमंद नहीं, असीर ए दाम नहीं है बहार का मौसम. बला से हमने ना देखा तो और देखेंगे, फुरगोश ए गुलशन ओ सौत ए हजार का मौसम. That pathways in the garden remind one of the seasons of waiting. Nothing here like the season of spring. The scars of the heart were always painful, but not so much. This time, it's different. This time, it is different than the season of separation from the beloved. This is the season of frenzy and madness, shackle and the hanging post. This is the season of oppression and making a choice. Prison is under your control, not under your control. Morning breeze's tipsy walk is not under a noose of rope. No net can really catch the season of spring. Sadly, I have not seen, but others will see, the season of brightness of the garden, where you hear thousand notes that nightingale sings, celebrating bursting of the spring. I would like to draw attention to some keywords now. Notice words like ravish, pathway, bahar, spring, mausam, season, dil ke daag, scars of the heart, hijran e yaar, separation from the beloved, jabr o ikhtiyar, oppression and self-control, junoon, insanity, jabr o ikhtiyar, oppression and self-control, kafas, prison, tawkodar, shackle and the hanging post. Chaman, garden, Atish-e-Gul, the flame of flowers in bloom. Furog-e-Gulshan, garden's grace and elegance. Saut-e-Hazar, nightingale's sweet sounds. Sabaki Masti, intoxicating breeze. All these words remind us of the peculiar imagery of the ghazal used by master ghazal poets. But here, Intezar Ka Mausam does not imply romance, but a challenging social and political phenomena. It is painful, but not just because of the separation from the beloved. This is a season for going to the gallows, lack of escape from the jail cell. Several decades have gone by since the colonial rule ended. But but Urdu poetry has taken a long time in coming to grips with these social issues, putting them into suitable heart-touching stylistic molds. Let us take a look at a kata from Daste Sabah. That we create commotion in the alley of madness. Sheikh's garb and the royal crown of the ruler. We keep alive the legends of Mansoor and Kes. We keep alive the love of flowers and the curved turban. The reference to the sheikh, the ruler, and crown has definite implications, not seen in the realist poetry. Because of their power and influence, they are metaphors for the power structure that oppresses people. Mansoor and Kes are martyrs in the cause of love, worldly or heavenly. Those who are fighting oppression have not lost their taste for the beauty of flowers or etiquette of magnificence. But their demands are of a different kind that can be met only with frenzy and self sacrifice.